That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but now I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
Sting is going to do. It's a video. Sting video. Okay.
What is
for credits?
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a. I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy Lou Martinez, aka Big Chief Burrito, live on a Wednesday. Got the New York Knicks fitted because it is draft night in the NBA for you NBA fans. Had to wait until the Knicks picked at number 8 before we got started. Want to thank everybody that's tuning in so far. We're going to be talking with, I don't know if you saw the preview, but I called it the King of I, Mark Atkinson, because I give him shit continuously about his self-promotion ways and about how he can turn every subject, situation, or moment into something about him. So we're going to be talking to him momentarily. Got the pit bulls in the background. Say hi, Shy Girl. Say hi, Baxter. Hi. No, they're just napping because they're lazy as dogs. All right. Thank you for watching us. Make sure that you follow us on Facebook.com/2mburrito. When we go live, make sure that if you like Twitch, you like gaming, there's a lot of cool people on Twitch.tv. You can find us on 2mburrito. Shoot us a follow to watch the replays, all our old films, and a lot of sketches and stuff that we've done over the last 10 years. YouTube.com/2mburrito. Even if you can't stick around the entire stream, leave a comment, leave a like, share the stream. Leave a question for me and Mark about anything, really. We'll try to answer it, and that is greatly appreciated. Or if you're like me, if you're at your desk and you have 18 tabs open, just go ahead and leave one up open on the stream. And then usually about a week or so after we finish the interviews, I put them up for audio files on the Podbean podcast network, bigchiefburrito.podbean.com. I want to continue the act of trying to promote small and local businesses over the holidays because I feel that it's the best way to help rebuild the economy, right? Don't buy your presents from Amazon, Walmart. Recently, Onstage Playhouse got attacked here in Chula Vista by somebody writing them harassing letters because they supported the Black Lives Movement. So think about donating to them if you have a place in your heart. OnStagePlayhouse.org. And do you like tile? Do you need some tile work done in your house? Well, why don't you consider Custom Creations by Alexander? They do stuff with tile. Local company, local friend of mine. They do good work, customized tile work. They have a big ass backlog of customers because they are 5-star rated everywhere. But again, I don't get any money for this podcast. People don't pay me to promote money. People don't pay me money to promote stuff on this podcast yet. But if you have a product, a company, also Sophia was on yesterday, La Original Casa del Taco, another company that I support, a taco place here locally that provides catering over the holidays. They also have outside dining currently, etc. So those are my 3 companies that I'm helping promote today. I can promote yours on the next stream. Shoot me some information. I would love to help out any small businesses that are affected right now. Obviously, I hope everybody's staying safe and figuring out how to make this holiday season work. But today, we're talking to the king and I. We're talking to Mr. Mark Atkinson. So let's bring him on. Say what's up to the man himself, pixelized for your pleasure. What is up,
hello,
Mark?
Hello, yes.
Hello.
How you doing? The king of I. Right? I'm a regular Yule Brenner.
And the reason is like one of the things that I give you crap about when we're talking offline, one of the many things I like to give you crap about is that you seem to turn everything into something about yourself, which is both a little toxic, but mostly brilliant because you seem to find a way to sort of take every situation like COVID. One of my favorites is when you were like, it was like Gay Pride Day, and you were like, well, who would I bang if I was gay? And I was like, well, dude, you gotta turn this into something about Mark every single time. So,
who's my happy Pride? Who's my male crush? Do you
who's
remember
my
who
male
it was?
crush? Yul Brenner, maybe? I don't know. Was it Sean Connery?
It was Sean Connery, the
Right.
recently departed.
Yeah, how did that hit you?
I was bummed, dude. It hit me hard. If there's 2 deaths that hit me hard celebrity wise, well, 3. Let's do 3. I would say for me, it's Sean Connery, but he's like 90, so I'm like, I can get over it. Regis, and probably Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, no, that was a tough one as well.
That was a tough one because it was just like, what? He had what? And he's dead, That's just celebrity wise, obviously. With COVID, a lot more people have unfortunately passed. But those are like the 3 celebrity deaths that hit me hard. How about you?
I don't know. I think Eric the actor, maybe.
Oh no, I meant like this year.
Oh no, this year. You're talking about current?
Yeah.
Alex Trebek was good. Was a big one. Sean Connery. You know what? There's been so many that it's almost like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, you don't want to sit back and like remember. Oh, remember he died, she died, etc. You
Yeah.
know, no,
This is
it's
a great way to start the podcast, isn't it?
no, yeah. It's
Celebrity death.
we're talking the king and celebrity deaths. No, but
I'm trying
as
not
a
to make it about myself now.
oh, I'm sorry, it's all right. Um, yeah, so I mean, obviously, I know you've been keeping busy in as much as you have a lot of projects that were already in the can that you started to promote during this time. But have you done any physical acting recently? Have you? When's the last time you were on set?
On set was probably a couple days ago. I did a 4 points with Ryan Kelly, Larry Poole, and Kristen Chandler.
Nice.
If you want to call that set, sure. Yeah, I kind of retired from those timed film things because I don't know. I've done enough, and but I don't know. Like we're in quarantine, so I'll do anything now.
You've retired until they say, "Hey, we need you," and then you're like, "I'm in.
More
I'm
or
back
less,
in."
yeah. Yes, I'm like the Brett Favre of the 48. I retire every year, and then I didn't do it this last summer though. I did. I didn't do it the summer before that either. Actually, I think I was out of town both times.
They dragged me back into it. The last film that I did was Shenanigans, which I actually was into because it was a 4 points last year or the year before. And you know, it was a right situation, even though I've been sort of retired for it for a while. But you know, in the quarantine challenges stuff, I didn't have the energy for it. I kind of thought about it for a minute and I was like, I'm going to do this idea that I've had forever.
Yeah.
But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, no. And then that's kind of when I turned the page and was like, you know what? I'm actually going to start finishing up the stuff that I have that's sitting there and doing more like this kind of creative content and things like that.
Okay. I won't mention the project.
Well, the project that I threatened to behead you if you ask me about one more time.
If you post about that project one more time, I'll chop your head off. I'm like, whoa!
I went full Steve Bannon with it. No, well, yeah. Mark is in a, and I sent you some pictures from BTS from it the other day. Mark is in a project that we created that ended up in post production hell because and this is something for filmmakers when you're on set and you're capturing sound, make sure that if you're capturing laughs for 4 people in a conversation, that you only have the people that are speaking laughs on. And I'm a big fan of boom mics as opposed to laughs, because what happened is we had 4 or 5 people in the scene. All of them were both mic via lav, and also we had a boom mic. And the boom wasn't, perfect, and the labs were a little rustly.
Gotcha.
So basically, it was beyond my skill set to be able to go into each scene and say, okay, for this 3-second period, this lab is making sound, so I'm going to cut it here. But 5 seconds later, I need it because the sound over here is too low, so I'm gonna cut it back on. And I priced it around for sound people, and some of them were willing to help me. And then they looked at it and they were like, "Yeah, I need like $500, $1,000 to sit there and spend the hours that it's gonna do to do this."
Yeah.
And at that point, we had spent maybe $2,000 on the project, and I was like, the producers that brought the project to me were out of money. I was out of money. And so basically it became a thing where I worked on it when I could, because it was just tedious work. And then, life gets in the way, my priorities shift.
Yep.
I had to start taking care of my pops a little bit more at the house. I had to change my work stuff. So it's happens to a lot. Now, if I could go back to myself and tell myself 7 years ago, there's going to be this creative time in your life, and what's going to help you the most is if you finish one project before you start the next. I probably still wouldn't have listened to myself, but in like 3 to 4 years ago, I was really doing good creatively. A lot of people were willing to work with me. A lot of projects were being made. They just weren't getting finished.
Right.
I made a blunder in that case, but I've taken the steps during now to upgrade myself PC wise.
Cool.
And I've started to get back into it. I'm knocking these out little by little, and I'm actually putting in the work. But it pains me to have to explain that to everybody every year when you make that post. So when you were like, "It's about that time again," I was like, "Oh my god,
season, Lou."
I'm gonna fucking roll down to OB with an axe, bust down your door." When'd you get the piano, by the way?
Yeah, this is my where is it? Oh, it's right here. Yeah, my grand piano. Yep, and then I should have done the podcast near my fireplace over
Yeah, there you go.
here.
Yeah,
But it's
it's a fireside chat, man.
It's a fireside chat. Yeah, actually, my real place does have I mean, this is my real place, but I do have a fireplace, and I should have done it by my fireplace, but I chose this green screen instead. Spoiler alert! In case you can't tell,
that you're blending into the fireplace is in your
I'm
neck.
wearing 2 blue shirts, a blue T-shirt and then a blue flannel. So I mean, and it's just literally like a Liberace,
So anybody who has questions about his baby grand piano or his vacation home in Denver, please leave us a comment. But let's, like I said, this is we've had chats where you've been a guest and we've talked to multiple people, but I wanted to kind of focus on interviewing you as a performer,
Sure.
as an actor.
It's my favorite subject, according to you. Yeah.
I figure let's indulge. I figure if we indulge in it now, maybe you won't ask me about it 80 million times. So where did the bug start for you when you were growing up? Is acting, producing, writing something that always felt like it was inevitable for you, or did you want to be something else when you were growing up?
No, I guess acting. I think like a lot of people, it hit me early. Probably in the formative years, the high school. I guess I did like an Ace Ventura sketch in high school, and people really seemed to like that. And then in college, you just kind of put away your pipe dreams, and you just you drink and do bong hits and party and try to get laid and all that stuff. And then I don't know, about a year later, you kind of focus and be like, all right, what do I really want to do? And I moved out here about a year or two after college here in San Diego. And, flirted with the whole acting thing, did, like everyone did, student films, short films, independent features, moved to LA, had my soul crushed, moved back down here, got a girlfriend, got a job, broke up with the girlfriend, got fired from the job.
What crushed your soul? What crushed your soul in LA?
Oh, in LA? It's weird. I think I was just too green. It was also like a different era. This was like 2007 or 8 or something like that. So it wasn't as likely. It was still like, there was YouTube, but it was still kind of new. People really weren't doing things with DSLRs yet. There were no iPhones. So it was still kind of a tough time. And I was, non-union and no representation. No, I did have representation, actually. That's the reason why I moved up there. I got an agent. That's right. Then I booked a national commercial. So I did have success, moved up to LA, was there for about a year. And then I was just, I don't know. I think I was like probably still, I was probably about not even 30 yet. It was still in my 20s. And that's the most idealistic time for anything. And that's also the most competitive time, they say. If you're like a 25-year-old girl, good luck with that. Other realms of your life is going to be awesome. But like to be an actress, it's highly competitive, I guess. And then, I don't know, probably about 5-6 years ago, I got the bug back. And been doing it ever since. Started producing, writing, directing even a little bit, but mostly I'm an actor. But yes, I think producer second, then writer, and then I don't consider myself a director. I've directed, but I'm not. I don't know.
What is it? Why don't you see yourself? Do you? What's wrong with being a director, man?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with it. There's everything. I don't know wrong with it, but like I just don't think I'm cut out for it. It's a lot of hard decision making. You got to know a lot of the tech. I could co-direct. I know that I could do that. I know I can produce and I can write, but I just don't think I'm the strongest director. But I'll do it if no one else wants to, and it's usually just my own project. So I've yet to direct something that I haven't written or produced, and I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
At this level, it's pretty much director is the producer, so
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of multiple hat wearings. Like the here in San Diego, like what's the difference between a grip and a gaff? Like nothing.
nothing.
Exactly.
Neither of them are getting paid.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Well, no, that's another reason why I sort of stepped away from those time competitions as well. Is that it seems that a lot of people, a lot of people uh, schedule their entire year of filmmaking around that weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's because it's the one weekend a year where you can ask people to work for free with no remorse, because you're not supposed
Good
to pay.
point.
So it's like, I'm gonna make my movie when I don't have to pay them.
Yeah. That's a good point. I never thought about it like that. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, for me, I think a lot of people in this town that call themselves filmmakers, they kind of rest their laurels on that. And it's fine to do it for a couple of years and win your awards and stuff. But I've noticed the last couple of years, a lot of people have stepped away and they're like, "Yeah, I've done it and I've won the awards and it's great." And now I'm on to other stuff, and or they're not, but
yeah, it's excellent as a team building exercise. It's
yeah,
excellent to meet people. It's excellent to
sure,
try new people out. It's
yeah,
excellent for that. Like I've had people that started off on a 48-hour film that went on to star in features that I made. So
yeah,
obviously I'm okay with the process. There's nothing to it, but there's there's diminishing returns the more you do it, because
mm,
nobody outside of the local industry is going to take those films seriously.
yeah,
Maybe the top 0.001% of those films across multiple years are good enough to be put somewhere else,
yeah,
other than that. And even when they do bring you into other festivals and stuff like that, like I had my rant about the San Diego International Film Festival,
Oh,
and
really? What was your rant about that?
that they can eat a bag of dicks.
Okay.
Well, no, my issue with them was that I wrote
Festival Talk.
there
Sponsored
you
by
go.
Stellar
Oh
12.
yeah, now we're at a film festival.
Yep.
I
Go ahead.
the last time that I competed, because we had a 2-person crew, me and Kenneth, shot, edited everything, 2-person crew plus the actors,
Mhm.
and we got romance, so which is not something that you would immediately associate with me, but
Mm.
I pretty much went into, but I feel that I can write for any genre, so I wrote a pretty decent script that people seem to like,
Mhm.
and people were surprised that I could draw from any sort of emotions, which was insane. Which made me and I got a lot of backhanded compliments, like, "Oh, I didn't know you had that in you," or "I didn't know you could
You're talking
write."
about the one you did last year, right?
Yeah, Last Lessons, which was
With
very,
Jace?
yeah, with Jace.
Yeah, yeah, that was good. I saw that.
Yeah, but people were like, "Well, we didn't know that you could have something with a heart," and I was like, "Well, you really haven't seen any of my stuff yet, because there's a lot of heart in my other films. There's just mixed in with a lot of dick jokes and comedy, you know." So it felt like a lot of backhanded compliments to me. Number one,
Yeah.
it was chosen as a best of for the festival, and I think Jace was up for best actor, and he got robbed. But we get the note that said, "Hey, you were selected as best of, so you are going to screen at San Diego International Film Festival
Right.
during the 48-hour block." So I'm like, you know what? I'll take it. Fuck it. It basically completes. I've gotten into Film Week. I've gotten into the 48. I've gotten
Mhm.
into the San Diego Latino Film Festival, which I was most proud of. And now I've completed the sort of grand slam of San Diego festivals by getting a film into San Diego International Film Festival, right? Which is the top of the food chain, so to speak. But
Okay. Yeah.
so we show up, and I'm expecting to get sort of the filmmaker experience, like at San
Mhm.
Diego Latino. You get to go to the opening, closing parties. You get to do
You
this.
got robbed of that,
You
by the way.
you
We'll talk
you
about
get
that, but yeah.
well, you get to do this. We get to do that, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, the sabor thing. There's a shit ton of parties,
Yeah.
shit ton of events that you get to go to as an artist with your festival artist badge. So I get to San Diego International to pick up my things, and I'm like, yeah, I'm Lou, I'm filmmaker, blah blah. They're looking for my film. They're like, oh, I don't see it. And there's people that I've worked with that I know that are volunteering there. They're like, oh, I don't see it, Lou. And then somebody else comes over and they're like, oh,
Dominic, you don't look harder.
Dominic was with me and he got embarrassed. And then I said, and then they're like, oh, and they're like, what's the film? And there somebody came over and they're like, oh, is it one of the 48-hour films? And I was like, yeah, as a matter of fact, it is. And they're like, oh no, you don't get the full festival pass with the laminate or nothing. You get the basic entry level. Basically, you get the lowest cost festival pass that anybody could buy off the street that just allows you to go to certain movies. If you wanted to go to the opening night or the closing night party, you had to buy it. You had to buy tickets that were like $100 or $200. And basically you couldn't go into any of the VIP areas. You couldn't mingle with other filmmakers. You couldn't do all the shit that you associate with being a part of a film festival. Right. And honestly, like we were sitting there and they're like, oh no, go that way. Like you're not one of us, like like basically like
serve your kind.
Like we were about to go to and then me and Dominic still like just schmoozed our way through and got into all the VIP areas anyway, because we, like I said, we were friends with the people that volunteered. Right. So that didn't stop us there, but I still got mad that they attempted to disenfranchise me, so to speak. Because what's the worst fucking thing that could happen by allowing local filmmakers to have a good time at your film festival? The only good thing the only good things can happen because they have a good time. They tell people they have a good time. They post about having a good time. And guess what? They're going to want to fucking be part of it again. So they're going to make more movies and submit them to your festival, which makes you money.
Right.
So this whole thing about separating you and saying you can show up for you, because I mean, you're basically saying the only thing that gives me is the ability to go see my movie again, with the same people in the same order. It's just a screening of my movie
6 weeks ago.
I just have to go do it in La Jolla this time. So I have to drive my ass to La Jolla to go watch my movie again with zero other benefits as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
So it seems to be short-sighted and a little elitist to me that they treated them. I know that this year Jody made a deal with them and that the San Diego Film Week films were shown as part of the festival. But then I also saw that they were charging like $50
too, by the way. But yeah,
it was like $50 to see a bunch of local movies. So I didn't really get that. I didn't really understand what was going on there. So
it was a good move for Jody, But as far as the festival, I had two movies that we'd submitted to both Film Week and San Diego Film Festival. So it got into Film Week, but it did not get into the film festival. I guess technically it did, only because they kind of merged. But then on top of that, you had to pay to watch your own movie. So in a way, they kind of triple dipped, So it's just kind of like, But I mean, good for Jody and the consortium. That maybe it'll put eyes on some more local stuff next year in the future. But
and this is not something that I haven't already told directly to the San Diego International Film Festival myself, because I told them that shit in person at the event. Said, you guys are fucking up. And this is fucking horrible the way you treat local filmmakers in your own fucking city. I don't care that they're premiering San Diego International Festival. A lot of films have dropped. They also thought that Jace Vendetti was Pitbull when he showed up at the oven.
I can see that. Yeah.
Pitbull was like one of the featured artists. Didn't even show up. Didn't even give a fuck. Said, "Fuck San Diego, I'm not showing up." Jay shows up on the red carpet and
the glasses, the goggles, and
with the boss, and they thought he was Pitbull, which was fucking hilarious.
Wearing a white linen suit. Wow. I mean, I guess like a very Caucasian Pitbull. I guess but
pre-tan Pitbull.
I suppose, yeah. I don't know. It was kind of a burn. I mean, all festivals have been a burn this year, but I will say the Latino Film Festival, that they probably did one of the better jobs as far as the virtual goes. So basically, I don't know, anyone watching, listening, too, Lou. that was the first. Oh, let's make it about me. That was the first time COVID affected me personally. Is when they
No,
when
the
they
first time
canceled.
when you were bitching about how COVID was affecting you because you were so sad, like about some Butte, Montana festival or something that you were trying to go to or something early on, like in
Uh,
April. You were bitching about something. You're like,
okay. It was probably oh, uh, the new Bond movie.
something. It was
The new
something you
Bond
weren't gonna get to
movie.
do.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't. Oh, I didn't get to go to the Bond movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the San Diego Latino Film Festival was the first thing that I was going to attend. That got canceled or postponed. But that same weekend, the Idlewild Film Festival was going on, and up there, they're in the mountains and the hills, a bunch
Yeah,
of
they didn't
rednecks
give
and
a
all that
fuck.
stuff. They didn't give a fuck. So we called it like I was up there with Randy Davison and Mark Allen, and we called it like the end of the world party. Now we said that in mid-March, thinking like, oh my god, they shut down bars. Oh shit, they're gonna, we thought it'd be like 6 weeks or so, and here we are 8 months later, and it's still like a shit show, but.
It's still happening, man.
Still happening, but yeah, no, the San Diego Latino Film Festival did a good job. I understand you did a lot of the Q&As, yeah.
Yeah, no, I did a few of them in person last year in the audience, and obviously it's the festival locally as a Latino that I identify with the most and that I was most proud of to get in.
Yeah.
So anything, and I just posted about it that their discount submissions were like $5 until like 2 days ago, as opposed to other festivals where it's like $40, $80. You want to submit a film that you did 3 years ago, it's like $75.
Yeah.
So I know you need to make money, and essentially the film festival industry is something that's based on ripping off filmmakers.
Right.
But it's but yeah, I had a lot of fun. SDLFF, you missed out on a lot because the SDLF party, San Diego Latino Film Festival parties, the closing parties, the events, the shit, it's all
The
fucking
legend, huh? Yeah.
the Sabor Latino, where the entire Fashion Valley Mall parking lot right there is full of like food vendors, and you can just jump around and just eat taco and drink beer all day. It's fucking incredible.
That sounds awesome. I got
Yeah.
ripped. You think they'll do that again next year? I mean, what is it?
I think that if there's enough people that didn't get to go this year that are like, hey, can I piggyback on it? They'll be like, come on.
Yeah.
You talk about that, but the day before the festival started, I talked to at least 2 filmmakers, one of them from Uruguay, that had already flown into San Diego. Yeah, had already flown into San Diego and was already here waiting for the festival to start, and they were like, and then they canceled it the day they arrived in San Diego from South America. So they actually, I think they were like in New Orleans or Miami. They were already in the United States, and they were going to fly to San Diego the same day. And as they were flying to San Diego, they were that. So you know what the people from San Diego Latino Film Festival did?
Get them drunk.
They took them down to Rosarito and got them drunk and fed them lobster and like partied with them in Mexico for
Dude,
a
that
day.
story needs to be told, because that'll put them right on like Movie Maker magazine, like top 50 festivals. Yeah,
I was doing an interview with the guy, and he was already back in South America. He's like, yeah, I came down and COVID hit the day I got there, or they decided to cancel the festival the day I got to San Diego. And Juan and Moises, who are the 2 curators of I think they took him down to Baja and like took him to eat lobster tacos and shit like that, and he was like, they're like fuck it, let's hang out, you're a filmmaker, you made it. He's like, awesome. That's pretty awesome. Let me hear a story about International Film Festival where they did something like that, huh? I'm just kidding.
Nope. I don't have it. There are some cool festivals, but I don't have any stories about that festival. But yeah, I got rejected by them twice, so I'm 2 for 2. So I don't.
I've been rejected several times by them. I've been rejected several times by them. Because every time I finish a film, I submit it, even though I know I'm not going to get into it. There's a certain amount of festivals that you're going to submit to just because you want them to know your name and to see your progress.
Right.
So I and I was able to talk to the people who run that event at one point several years back at another film event, and I told them straight up, I was like, you guys need to do something for local filmmakers that do that. I guess, their association with the 48 and stuff like that is whatever. Hopefully, and I don't know anything about their current association, so hopefully they're doing better so that the next time there's a live festival. But that's my only thing is if it's a filmmaker and they're local, there's nothing bad about treating them exactly like any other filmmaker that got into your festival, because the only thing that they can have is a good experience that makes them want to keep being a patron of your festival. That means they want to come back as a filmmaker and submit, and that also means they might want to come back and just show up and come watch a movie in future years. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing you can do by treating them like literal shit is have somebody like me
talk about it on a podcast.
With a platform as small as it is. Hey, I get 1,800 views sometimes per video. I'm not that, that's not bad.
Not at all.
So, who the fuck cares? FD. So, but all right, I'm going to transition from that because I've done too many fuck the San Diego International Film Festival for one day. Let's transition out of that. All right, we're back with Mark Atkinson.
We're back.
You like that slick little transition, don't you?
Yeah, that was great.
So you catch the bug, you come to LA, you get your heart broken in LA, you have representation, you do a commercial, but then the water runs cold for you. You come to San Diego, and then you get into an indie scene here. There
were a couple years when I was retired, and I was just talking about a couple of days ago. It was a good 5-6 years.
That's when you were MILF hunting?
What's that?
That's when you were MILF hunting?
Well, I retired from that. But no, I was just I wasn't really active. I'd go on auditions and book gigs here and there, but other than that, I wasn't pursuing it. And this was it was when that show Terriers was being filmed here. Remember that? So maybe 7, 8, 9 years ago?
Well,
maybe 10.
What was that other one? That biker show? With the guy on the motorcycle with the long hair, Kevin Sorbo.
Lorenzo Lamas?
Lorenzo Lamas. There was a show that got filmed here, right?
Renegade. Yeah, that was in the 90s. I'm talking about 10 years ago. There was a show on FX with what's his name? Donald Logue. Remember him from Blade? Anyways, they would shoot it in OB, and I'd be going to get a sandwich, and I'd see crew and extras and some people I knew, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you should come and be on this." And I'm like, not into it. And then I don't know, like I said, about 5 or 6 years ago, got back into the bug and, started kind of getting into bed with people. No, only kidding. I started just kind of networking and hanging out with people in the film community, and started doing 48 short films, feature films. Terriers. Oh, look at that. Karina Lizette Perez, 2010. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you.
Karina.
And I was on a podcast for a little while, and I think I've been on your podcast more lately than that one, but every once in a while I'll make an appearance, and
shout out Dawson and the Intellectuals, because they figured if we're going to name it something weird, we might as well also spell it weird. We got to do another Cross the Stream episodes. Were you on that when we crossed the streams, when we were on their pod and they were on our pod? I think so, right?
Was I?
Yeah. I'm going to do that with my friend Pat Hilton as well. Yeah.
I don't remember. I've been on your podcast for sure.
So you potted
the one you had with Ty.
Yeah, Indie Apocalypse.
That was fun. Remember that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I am actually. We still have
really
the
Indie. Started talking shit.
Oh yeah, that was because somebody got mad at us. Because somebody got mad at you guys because you weren't. It's a whole other story.
That was back when we were young Turks.
Yeah, young Turks.
We're older now.
Karina says that was her first gig too on Terriers. I'm assuming.
Oh, okay, cool.
So you did Terriers, and you go to podcasting and stuff like that?
No, I never did Terriers. I was retired.
Oh, no.
Then.
Oh, you retired at that time. Yeah. Okay, so during that time is when you're retired, and then what happens? Then what's the impetus to get back into it? Just film community-wise?
Yeah, I noticed there was a scene. I didn't know there was a scene, I know I'd heard about this Jody lady, and they were making these things, and I don't know, you were probably making your feature back then, right?
Yeah, Blacklisted was back there.
Was that 2014 or something like that?
Yeah, but that was I know that I'm coming up on the anniversary of creating my page in 2021, which means that 2 a.m. Burrito is about to hit 10 years. In the first several years, we were just kind of like the mumblecore, black and white, super low budget
Mumblecore?
stuff. Mumblecore, yeah.
Oh yeah, I like mumblecore.
Then there's and something I found out during San Diego Latino Film Festival when is that there's actually a TJ mumblecore scene, because this dude made this super like just non sequitur of a film that was a film. They it was like a film, but they were just sort of like no cuts, no, just one take. It was mostly just conversational. It was really cool, man. Like it was one of the most like that was the best part about helping out during that festival is having access to all the movies, because I got to see every movie. Obviously focusing on the ones I was going to do interviews with, but man, people are fucking talented and shit like that. I'm sorry, I cut you off again.
Shit like that. No. I was just thinking about mumblecore, and I hear mumblecore, and I think of Jay Duplass. You know,
right?
Yeah.
Well, mumblecore was a thing like late 80s, 90s, early 2000s, which was mostly just improvised dialogue, black and white, steady shots, and non-professional actors.
Yeah, like Clerks or whatever.
Yeah, well, Clerks is more indie comedy than mumblecore. It's Clerks is like the upper echelon of that. So we were sort of in that area where we were kind of Clerks-ish, but also in the other space. But yeah, that was around the time that the San Diego indie scene was getting put more together, and obviously, you know, as a group and stuff like that, there was a lot of good stuff happening during that time. There's a couple of San Diego features being made during that time as well, and we were one of them.
Yeah, and I noticed, I'm like, oh my god, people are making movies. Like, what? I didn't know that. Like, that's cool. Like, people know each other and they work with each other and they make, you know, films. And I just thought that would happen, like, you know, once a year for the 48. But yeah, I mean, I got a lot of friends out of it that, you know, people I'm still friends with to this day. So
and then, what was your first movie? What's the Vig? The Dawson?
Oh no, that was 15 years ago, actually.
Really? So you had
we made it in, I think, 2005, and then it came out in 2006. So yeah, 15 years ago. I was just a young little boy. Yeah, and then, but yeah, what's the one that kind of, I guess, pulled me back in? I guess it would have been a 48. The one that I did with Dawson, Unlucky Charms. Because it won some award or something like that. I'm like, what? They have awards? What? And yeah, it was just like a little mini version of Hollywood, except no one was rich or famous or talented. No, I'm only kidding. No, there's talented people, but no one's rich or famous, you know? But I just thought that was really cool. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. I can finally like talk shop with, you know, people other than just a bunch of jaded movie nerds, you know?
And then from there you just started collaborating with people and getting it. What was your first like starring role?
My first starring role. I mean, I guess me and Carl Beck as co-starred in that Unlucky Charms movie. So I guess
so right away you
were the two leads. Sure, yeah. But I'd known Dave for many years, since What's the Vig. So you know.
You met him, you knew him and made What's the Vig, or you met him on What's the Vig?
I met him, on What's the Vig. Yeah, he was a producer on that. So I've known him a long time. Yeah.
Well, shout out Dawson, man. All right.
Shout out to Dawson. Yeah. Hope he's doing well.
All right. So catching up here, Hero Team Ken checking in. Thanks for watching, Kenny.
What up, Kenny?
Follow Hero Team Ken on Twitch. He streams Call of Duty and Modern Warfare, slaying them piggies all day. Wendy G in the place to be, checking in from NYC. Thank you for watching, Wendy. I appreciate you. I appreciate you leaving the stream open on one of your tabs on your computer. All the views help. So after you get into the mix in San Diego and you start kind of becoming a fixture, do you ever sideways? And obviously you did the pod and stuff like that, but did you ever do any stand-up or try to do stuff like that, or did you always stick to the video sort of comedy?
No. So I started stand-up in college back when back at URI, University of Rhode Island. So I got into that scene, the Providence in little bit of the Boston scene too. Boston was a lot more competitive.
Fuck
And then,
yeah.
yeah. And then here's a little fun fact. I used to do stand up at this place called The Station. I don't know if you know what that is, but in 2003, I think, it burnt down.
Oh wow.
And I guess I'm gonna turn a little grim here. It burnt down and it killed like 100 people.
Is that through one of those like pyrotechnic shows or
That was
whatever?
the one.
That was the one.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll move quick, but one thing I will say, so it was a real dump. That place. I mean, God bless
Yeah.
everyone's soul that perished in that. But yeah, that place was a real dump. I remember I had a joke about how, and I swear to God, they had a machine. Remember cigarette machines?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
swear to God, this machine had cigarettes and candy in the same machine.
Oh wow.
I'd never seen this. Yeah, so this was like early 2000s. So
you can put some money in there and then press the handle and then you get some Skittles and you're like, I wanted some Menthols.
yeah, like damn
Fucking
it,
machine.
I
Give
don't
me
want to read
Skittles.
Buttercup. What the hell? Yeah. But yeah, they got like a nice little monument tribute there, which is nice. Anyways, yeah. So and then out here, there was a little bit of a comedy scene when I moved out here, but it was very competitive. You've had stand-ups on the show, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And your homies.
I want to have more, but I know a ton of people that are stand-ups that are also actors. They dabble into the scene.
Oh yeah. That's what's weird. There's not like a huge crossover. I kind of wish I stayed in the stand-up, but
what was that guy Schrader that hosted I think Film Awards thing a couple of days ago? He does that Dr. Sasquatch commercial.
Yeah,
that's in front of like every YouTube videos. Yeah,
yeah.
so he's and he was local to San Diego scene, so it's good that he's fucking busting it.
Jimmy O Yang started here too. Did you know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep, and then Dat Fan.
Yeah, but we're a certain age, Wendy, so we remember those machines, the cigarette machines used to be. That's what.
You remember those machines? Yeah,
that's
weird.
That's when we were. That's when we were young and good looking. Yeah. Now we're only good looking.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
When did we first work together?
I mean, we're not including the podcast when we were promoting Soldiers of Misfortune.
No,
right?
no, not that one.
Okay, I think we worked. Okay, a couple years ago when we did Double Down, right?
Yeah, we did Double Down, which is for Dave Callen's sketch competition.
Yeah.
And
that was fun. I actually watched it recently again, like a couple of months ago.
That's a sketch that just turned into like just craziness.
My Facebook memories.
We just blended everything into that.
You wrote basically it was like a sort of a parody of. Part of it was a sort of a parody of.
Yeah, the ending was a parody of Deer Hunter.
Deer Hunter. Yeah. It's really dark, man.
Yeah, it's really. At one point, I'm sitting at a poker table, and I have
you're an actor in it.
Yeah, I have a fucking set.
By the way,
I got chops. Mark Atkinson.
And instead of a patch, you have your glasses with like, and it's blacked out or whatever.
Yeah, it's
like
we did what we could. Horatio.
The Niro guy.
Oh no, that was Paul Jarrett. Was it Paul? Yeah, I think it was Paul that shot that.
Poor Dominic was the Christopher Walken guy.
Yeah, Dom Lerma. And we had Randy on recently, and he was talking about how you guys usually break, everybody San Diego community is always, when the Emmys or Oscars or shit's rolling around, we're sitting here in our little PJs in San Diego watching the award show. We open up Facebook, and then we got like pictures of you and Randy Davison with like Liam Neeson or somebody popping up on our feed. And we're sitting here in San Diego like, how the fuck did Randy Davison and Mark Atkinson get into the fucking, Beverly Hills party?
We got into some good ones, man. I mean, it bums me out like on a daily basis that I can't crash, especially like right around now. This is like, end of the festival season, but the beginning of the award season, and just rolling up there with the tux with no plan, just be like, fuck it, what do we got to lose? Unfortunately, I think those days, I don't think they're done, but they might be numbered because I think things are going to be a lot stricter.
Yeah, they're checking your name against the list, and they're checking your temperature at the door.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. You never know. I mean, Randy, you've had him on, and if anyone's been on Facebook these last couple of weeks,
Randy's crushing it.
Can't miss himself promoting about how he's a man.
Oh, Randy is fucking crushing it. Although 90 seconds ago you turned a tragedy of 100 people dying in a club into a quick anecdote about yourself. So no, you're good. My favorite is when Mark realizes that he's doing it, and then he's like, he has that self-aware laugh.
Uh, well, there's that.
There's that.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, and then at some point you begin to create all these characters, either fan fiction. I don't know if you call it fan fiction or fan films, or you call them parodies of a parody, but you do the patio, which is a parody of the room,
Yeah.
which is in itself a parody of itself. You do your Captain Quint character, which is sort of, I would say, I would
You
call,
should burp right into the mic.
yeah, I could call,
Like Howard.
you could call that fan fiction, the Quint stuff, and then you do Howard Stern fan
That's right.
movie
I'm wearing it now.
when Howie Met Ronnie.
When Howie Met Ronnie. And it's filmed right here. Can you see it? I gotta take this dopey background off.
Yeah, you gotta take that. You gotta take that dopey background off, buddy.
Yeah, how do I do that?
So, all right. So while you do that, when do you? Is that something that just because of the ease of use of technology these days, like you said, DSLRs, things like that, that it was too easy not to do, or did you have a team around you that was like, like you had pretty much, you're a person that is always saying yes to coming to play on somebody else's set,
Mhm.
You're always, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, fuck it, I'll do that. You need an actor, I'm there, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, just the other day, Ryan Kelly sent me a text on Friday night and said, "Hey, do you want to help out in this 4 points?" I said, "Sure." Well, what do I do? What's the script? What's the role? He's like, basically, you just play a guy who gets scared by a ghost and you pee your pants. I'm like, you had me at pee your pants.
Yeah.
We didn't
You
get
had,
the script, though. I was
you had
disappointed.
you had me at you play a guy.
You play a guy. Oh, a guy? No, a girl.
I'm in. Either way,
Yeah.
you play, and then I'm done. You threw me off track there. So you at what point, or what's the impetus for you to start making, like, did you at some point just get tired of playing in somebody else's movies and not necessarily getting that, other than the first film, not getting like your leading chance, and you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna star in the films that I want to make, stop asking people to let me play in them? Or did you always sort of have those ideas about making your own projects, and like you said, you didn't necessarily want to be a director?
No, but I mean, ideally, it's good to hire a director that you get along with, that has your short form. Like, for instance, so the first film, I guess the first singular, because I think one of the first things I produced was Soldiers of Misfortune with Jordan Jacobo and George Jack. And that was kind of more of a, like a,
That was
we
your idea.
collaborated. What's that?
That was your idea.
No, it was all of our ideas. We all collaborated. It was all of our ideas, like singularly. Wait.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So you
no.
mean it was the first your joint
Collaboratively, opposite of singularly. Yeah, it was all of our ideas. And we kind of developed the characters and stuff, and we try to make that a web series. And there's still talk that maybe someday we will, but you never know. It's 5 years later. Let's be honest. And I'm like, well, I kind of want to do my own thing, and I got an idea here. So yeah, I got together with a couple of local filmmakers like Ray Gallardo, and Justin Burquest, and let's see, that was about almost 4 years ago.
But not everybody has access, or Justin and Ray Gallardo as drinking buddies that they can be like, because most people have people that bought a camera and they're playing around with it, or they made a couple of real shitty indies. You had Justin, who's got a great eye and some experience behind the camera, even though he's a Snyder nerd.
He's got a big old boner about the new trailers coming out for
Ray Gallardo, who's a fucking beast. So
he's underrated. He's got a couple features.
He's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
So before you continue your story about, I got a couple of local filmmakers, you had a couple of fucking, Ray's better than Justin. I'm just, but I'm just saying, Justin's no fucking slouch. So that's a pretty good combo of people to be like, hey, you guys want to help me on something?
Yeah. And I've worked with both of them a couple of times. But yeah, Justin, even on my last short, I directed it, but he was the grip and gaffer guy because he loves lights. He loves lights. If he could have sex with a quasar light, he would.
So we reach out to them, and then what? How does you already had the idea in your head?
Yeah, I had the idea in my head. Just kind of, I like the whole idea of it's not fish out of water, but it's just kind of a contrast. Just like you take this old crusty fisherman who basically got swallowed by a shark, but he's somehow alive or whatever. It's very absurd, actually. And then take these two little cute girls, put them on Christmas Eve, mix in a little. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, and then I just wanted to release it on, I guess, Facebook or YouTube on Christmas Eve, and we did. I think I literally had Justin or someone editing it on Christmas Eve, and then released it. I was like talking to him on the phone, like I was already back east, and there was that, and then I was like, it was kind of. I'm getting some good stuff, some good feedback. Let's take it off the social medias and let's put it into the film festival circuit. And then we did, and it won a couple of awards. It won best comedy in this festival out in Chicago, and it got awarded by Bob Gale, who was the creator of Back to the Future, so who actually knows personally Steven Spielberg. So that's a very high compliment.
And that's when what's your production company? Honolulu, Aloha,
Millie Kalik, bro. Kahuna Productions.
Kahuna Productions. What is that kind of like? You're a tiki bar guy. Is that basically what you're telling me?
I'm a tiki bar guy. So Kahuna was my nickname in college. Because Kahuna. In late high school and in early college, I wore Hawaiian shirts like religiously, like the cheesy ones that you'd get at like a Salvation Army, and I would wear them. And there was another guy, I guess my mentor at the time, he was the big Kahuna, so I couldn't take his name, and I didn't really want to go by Little Kahuna, so it's just Kahuna. And that was my name. Like even to this day, when I talk to my college buddies, they still call me Kahuna. I'm like, So I started making films, little shitty films back in college, and that was the name of the fictitious production company, Kahuna Productions. And now it's becoming a little bit more legit. Actually, got our own DBA and working on the website and Facebook and all that stuff. I'm actually enrolled in a program trying to make it happen, but slowly and surely.
I'm not laughing at your production company name, Mark. Mine is called 2 a.m. Burrito,
2 a.m. Burrito,
which is
every once in a while you'll have in the beginning of one of your films a burrito come out and fart beans out.
We did that one time. One time we did that.
One time, okay.
One time we did that. I'm glad that you remember that, and because that's what we wanted is a lasting memory. But 2 a.m. Burrito is neither it's a time and a place, is what I tell people. What is 2 a.m. Burrito? It's a time and a place. If you're in Tijuana, you might eat tacos, bacon wrap hot dogs. If in New York at 2 a.m, you'll get a slice of pizza. In Chicago, you might go get, I don't know, a deep
Wiener Circle. Yeah.
Wiener Circle.
Are you familiar with the Wiener Circle?
I believe that's a loaded question there.
Yeah, it is. Whoops. Yeah.
San Diego at 2 a.m, you get a burrito. That's what happens. It's a time and a place. So that's why I like the name.
Yeah.
So Quinn comes out, and I want to show people the picture real quick here as well.
I should explain Wiener Circle.
Go ahead.
All right, I'll make it real quick. So when we were out in Chicago for our film, me and Justin, we went to the film festival, and then we did a lot of touristy things. And if you ever are out in Chicago, you got to go to Wiener Circle. It's one of these places where they go, and the food's okay, but you go there for the service. It's not great service; it's shit service, and all they do is they roast you. And there's beautiful chops.
So it's like a Dick's Last Resort.
Oh, it's better than that, dude. I'll tell you what. Do this: YouTube or Google. Triumph, the insult comic dog, goes to Wiener Circle.
Okay, I'll check
like
that
everyone
out.
Watching, and then that'll give you a gist.
Do I look like young Jamie to you? But it's the Joe Rogan show. Google this. What the hell is this? I'm interviewing you, Mark Atkinson. Don't tell me what to Google. All right. Thanks for checking in, Mr. Socket Channel, for all your sock news.
There he is, Mr. Socks. What's up with that? Is he still obsessed with socks? Or?
Is he still obsessed with socks? That's the one way to say it. Great show, Mark. Thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping by. No, and we did a video for them, or we collaborated on a video where we interviewed Kurt Schilling's bloody sock from the Yankees game. And I did that. What? Go ahead.
I was Kurt Schilling one Halloween.
You were Kurt Schilling one Halloween.
Yeah, it was the Halloween. They just won their first World Series in my lifetime, and I went as Kurt Schilling. So just basically, a bunch of Red Sox shit, and then I had ketchup in one of my socks, and this was when I first moved here, I think. And a lot of people up and down Garnet, they got the reference because there's a bunch of Bostonians that come straight.
No, we did since Dimitri has a channel about socks. I was like, you should interview famous socks in history. So we wrote a sketch. We got Paul Fisher with the deep Boston accent to play. Yeah, I don't know if I'll send you the link if you haven't seen it.
Okay.
But it was basically we interviewed Kurt Schilling's bloody sock as part of an interview, and it was fucking hilarious. Let me catch up on everybody that's watching. Thank you, everybody that's checked in so far. Joe Klein checks in saying, what about the Froyo loan? I don't know what that means. I think that might be directed at Mr. Atkinson. What up with the Froyo loan?
The Froyo loan. That was the first commercial I did.
CY checking in. What up?
Oh, that's Claudia.
And Evie checking in. Epic E. What's up, Evie? Glad to have you as part of the stream tonight. Glad hope you're feeling better. Go ahead. So what's the Froyo loan?
Yeah, that was a commercial I did with John Clifford. There he is. What about the Froyo?
Comedy gold.
It's gold. It's gold, John Clifford. Yes, that was the first commercial I did with Randy Davison and with John Clifford, actually. Congratulations, by the way, John.
Yeah, you guys recently got married over there.
We got hitched about a month ago. Yeah, we got invited.
Yeah, I was supposed to be there. I volunteered to get ordained and dress up as a wizard to marry them and everything. I think they had eight people that were ahead of me, so it wasn't like that was absolutely going to happen.
Yeah,
but I did volunteer, and that couldn't be a fucking cuter couple.
Yeah,
space than those two, so everybody's happy about it.
They gotta do. Okay, I know they got married. Congratulations, and they had a little private ceremony, but they have to have that Lord of the Rings ceremony, and I'm asking them publicly on live public access podcast, Facebook streaming.
This is the equivalent of what public broadcast was back in the day.
You owe us all a Lord of the Rings themed reception.
We need that. We need that. We need
that more than.
And then we need every filmmaker in San Diego to show up and film it and try to outdo each other on the edit. That's another thing. All right, so you do Quint. You get into some awards. You get back to your hometown festival. I know for that one, right? You got into Rhode Island something or other for that as well.
Yes, I got into the Block Island one. Well, that was more recently, but yes, another one out in Rhode Island. Yes. Yep.
And then does the patio come after that, or does How We Met Ronnie come after that?
We did the patio almost 3 years ago to the date, and I kind of timed it strategic. I wanted that to come out right as the Disaster Artist came out. Nope, there it is. There's me and my lazy eye.
So, I mean, I don't. So I think that there's people that sort of try to recreate what the room was.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that you can. Do you think that you can make something that's so bad it's good if you're consciously trying to do that, or do you just have to luck into that?
I mean, with us, we had to go blatantly obvious.
Well, no, not for your movie, because your movie comes after that. But do you think that because your movie isn't an attempt at making something like The Room, your movie is a parody of The Room. But in regards to The Room as a film, your film aside, do you think that because there's people that try to recreate something like that, there's projects out there that we're trying to go for a Room type deal where we're going to kind of do it kind of cheesy and this and that and the other thing.
Yeah.
But I think to make something like The Room, you actually have to be bad at making films.
I think, yeah, you can't do it. You have to do it almost subconsciously, I think.
Right.
Yeah. You have to think. This is great. All right, put it this way. We'll go back to the 48s. I love
those are the types of films that those are the types of films that they're really trying their hardest. You're trying the hardest, but it just comes out.
Yeah. The ones when you can actually hear the director say, okay, action.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those make me laugh. All right, I love good movies, Shawshank and Pulp Fiction and all that stuff, but I love bad movies too. And my movie, I like The Room. I love The Room. But I don't know if it's my favorite bad movie. I know you're more of an Ed Wood guy, right?
Yeah, no. Ed Wood is my dude. Like I said, he would the big guy walks through the door, he bumps the frame, the whole set shakes,
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Hey, you want to do another take?" He bumped the frame, and he's like,
yeah.
"Nah, he's a big dude. He'd have problems with that on a regular basis. It's
I
fine."
went on a little Ed Wood kick actually. This
Tell me about it.
past summer. Yeah, I watched. I guess I watched Ed Wood, the Tim Burton one. That's an awesome movie, by the way. It holds up.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and then I watched Plan 9 from Outer Space, which doesn't hold up. It does and it doesn't.
What do you feel about people that are like so concerned about Johnny Depp? They're like just so
Oh,
anxious because this billionaire, this like multimillionaire is having a bad couple of days.
yeah, I mean, I know he was
Johnny
like,
Depp's gonna be okay.
yeah, he'll be fine. He was
Eh,
like ageless for decades, and
yeah,
all of a sudden, like he didn't start to age until like the last like 6 months,
yeah,
And now he looks like hell because that crazy chick Amber Heard. I mean, I'm
yeah.
I'm Team Johnny. What do you want? Amber Heard's never done anything for me.
No, but I think you're trying to take her off of Aquaman too. I mean, I understand you're trying to like prevent against kind of like I don't know accusations and stuff like that. But like Johnny Depp's gonna be okay.
Oh yeah,
Like he's having he had a bad time. England said he
rough
was more
patch.
than
But who
likely a
doesn't?
wife beater.
Yeah,
Amber Heard treated him like shit. Okay, we get it.
yeah.
But we don't like there was somebody was like, get Johnny Depp to play Gomez in the Tim Burton Adams Family, right? And I was like, man, can we get a new actor? Like, honestly, I would rather they cast Jordan Jacobo as Gomez than I would Johnny Depp.
Well,
You
he's
know what I
got that,
mean?
yeah, that devil
He's got
mustache.
this. He's already got the stash for it, right?
He's got the mustache of a
Like,
bartender in North Park. Yes.
why do we need to always celebrity cast every fucking show that's coming out? Why don't we just if something is enough of a thing on its own that it doesn't need a pre-established celebrity attached to it. Like if you can't get the show made unless you attach Johnny Depp, then I understand. But if it's Tim Burton, the Addams Family, I'm already in.
Hmm.
I'm already in. The stunt casting, you don't need that. Save that for something that needs to be saved. Why don't we? Do you think that that maybe that's a time for people for the stunt casting versus unknowns? How do you feel about that?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. Like I like going to movies and knowing. I don't know. Like, okay, for instance, here's a good. If I were to go to a film festival, it would probably entice me more if there were names, not A-listers, but just names or faces, familiar actors versus a bunch of no names. That's me.
But
I
you're
don't
a
know.
star fucker.
I'm not a star fuck. Or maybe I am, and it's hard to admit that. Um, no, but like but it's hard to say. Like for voiceovers,
Right.
for commercials, I think sometimes it's like, really, you gotta fucking take jobs away from struggling dickheads like me. But I don't know. I get why it's a system that works. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like people will pay to see what they know from familiarity.
Yeah.
But yes, every once in a while, you do need to kind of throw in a new face and a new name. Yeah,
I just think there's this sort of fan cultish behavior
yeah.
where, like I said, they're like, we have to protect Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, he didn't get the Beast franchise, and he's not going to be in the Pirates movie. Like, they're not
Yeah,
made.
the-
Number one, Pirates movie isn't getting made right now because it needs like a $200 million fucking budget, and Disney's not going to spend $200 million when they don't know if they're going to be able to fill up theaters again.
yeah,
So.
and that franchise jumped the shark like 13 years
Yes.
ago.
So
Anyway,
so Johnny Depp's gonna be okay. If you're not gonna watch Aquaman 2 because Amber Heard is in it, that's fine. I mean,
yeah,
that whole, but I just think like there's this cult around like celebrity casting and oh, we have to put this person in this and this and this. Let the fucking people make the movies, pick the people that they want, and if you're an actor, why wouldn't you want new actors to get parts as opposed to the same crusty motherfuckers that get them every time?
yeah.
Why not give Mark Atkinson a shot?
Why not? Exactly. Yes. Anything you see Charlie Day cast in,
Charlie Day's cock blocking you in the fucking
and
Hollywood
they're
world.
gonna exactly. Yeah, yeah. No, I know what you're saying. I guess it's just I hope to kind of be at that level one day, but it's maybe I won't be. It's okay. I've already accepted to, maybe I'll just be a character actor for the rest of my life. But I kind of already settled that, earlier in my 20s, which was fine. So I mean, look at Randy. Randy's a character actor too, and he's finally kind of coming into his stride. But
Yeah.
he's what's that?
No, go ahead.
I mean, he's been going at it for a while though. He's no spring chicken. So I'm glad and I'm proud of him for kind of he had a BET movie of the week on a couple days ago.
Well, that's why I'm waiting to release Insecurity when he's in an Oscar-nominated movie. Then I release Insecurity and they say, "Oh, you like Randy Davison in this?
Yeah.
Watch Randy Davison in Insecurity."
Yeah.
And then boom, I get all the views, and then I get all the money.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, but that's the thing, like, because I produced too, and I did produce. A lot of the smaller things have been just with me and local actors. But one of the bigger things I did last summer did have, I wouldn't say names, but faces, we'll call them, like some LA actors that have done some. For instance, we cast Matthew Glave, who was Glenn Gulia from The Wedding Singer, in our movie. And not A-list by any means, but you're familiar with his work.
Yeah.
And I think little things like that kind of bring it up. Obviously with SAG, we had to pay him. Ideally he would have done more promotion for the film than we would have liked, but it is a COVID year. So but like I don't know, I think there's something that the audience, and I wouldn't say with short films investors, but there's something the audience likes about seeing the familiarity. But you can mix it up. That's what I'm getting at. You don't have to cast every single person.
Yeah, give somebody else a chance.
So
obviously, we're talking from a place of would be a nice problem to have as a filmmaker, as a director. But did you how long were you a fan of The Room? Because I know they used to go. You have pictures with Tommy. You've been to. So were you? Because I mean, I knew about The Room 7, 8 years ago when my friend would be like, "You got to watch The Room," and I was like, "What?" And then he's like, "There was a screening coming up, and people are throwing shit at the screen, throwing spoons and yelling out lines, and it's more of an
Insanity.
event. It's more of an event. It's the new Rocky Horror, right?" But how long were you a fan of it before you decided to create a parody of it?
Several years. Yeah, I don't know, what year did it come out?
You said 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So I would go to the Ken, to the midnight screenings, and I think the first time I saw it, you'd like this. It's sold out. So it had like a kind of a collegiate following too, and it was at UCSD, and I was really excited to see it. I'd seen it. I don't know, rented it on DVD or whatever, but I'd never seen it with a live audience. So this is kind of before it started playing at the Ken, or at least before I knew about it. And it played at UCSD, and Tommy was going to be there, and it sold out. And I was like really butthurt about that. And let's just say I made it in there.
You got in the mix somehow. You pulled the old Mark Atkinson.
Yeah.
What is your favorite? What's your favorite?
Stairwell and snuck underneath like the stage and like through a curtain. What's that?
What's your favorite scene from the original Room?
I mean, just the whole roof scene's ridiculous, and he's just like, "I did not hit her." Hi, Mark. I mean, that's legendary. That's probably my favorite. Yeah.
And then you make the movie, you write it. How long does it take you from deciding, you know what, I'm going to make a Room parody to getting the script how you want it? Because obviously you don't want it to be too good. You want it, right?
That's the thing. So I think I had Micah Moore edited it, and when he first did it, it was funny. But I'm like, no. And how usually like you got to make it better. Like I was like, no, you have to make it shittier. It's not shitty enough. Like, so we just had to add like a lot of green screen and post-production jokes. Obviously the acting was shit and the sound, and it was a parody really of a lot of 48s more than The Room.
True.
It wasn't a film festival film, but it did get a lot of views and a lot of hits on especially Facebook. One of the Room fan pages shared it, got a lot of hits overnight, and I'd actually sent it to Robin Paris, who plays, oh god, I forget who she plays, but she plays the guy who gives the guy, she plays the girl who gives the guy a blowjob in the room, and we all know that scene. Remember that?
Right.
Okay. Did you? Are you listening?
No, I'm here. I'm with you. No. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Cool. My volume went down for some reason, but I'm trying to get it back up. I can still hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so she was an original cast member of The Room, and I showed it to her, and she loved it. Thought it was hilarious. And she's got something on her Facebook or on a Facebook page or a YouTube page, and it's called like The Room Where Are They Now, and it's like a mockumentary about what the actual actors, everyone but Tommy and Greg, are doing. I almost
And the movie about The Room was probably The Disaster Artist was a really good movie.
It was a great movie. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
They were legitimately fans of the film.
Yeah.
And they kind of recreated a lot of the stuff step by step.
Yep.
You could see in the credits where they showed the room scene and their scene and like how similar they were, and talk about embodying. I mean, Tommy Wiseau is a legend.
Right.
He's become an icon. I mean, I'm not going to call him a legend. He's become sort of iconic. So you're almost caught between doing an impression of him and an homage, right? So I definitely thought that it was a really well-made film about a really bad film.
Yeah,
and it makes you appreciate it even more, right?
They did it right. Yeah. And all those guys, like, I guess that was like a big Hollywood joke for years in like the early 2000s to really, I think, the late 2000s. He would have that ridiculous billboard in Hollywood, and I guess it was just an inside joke, and celebrities like Paul Rudd would have like the Room viewing parties, and it just kind of, people like Jonah Hill would show up and all those, Seth Rogen, and they made this film. It was a great film. It premiered at AFI Fest 3 years ago. It's like this week. Snuck into that one too.
Yeah, man. I wouldn't expect anything less from the fucking the King of I.
The King, yeah. The King of I. You know who got me into that party though?
What?
It was I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but you know who I'm talking about. Noel G, who played the Mexican gangster in every movie. That guy's super nice in real life. And I just started shooting the shit with him about, I think like he did something with like Justin Berquist or something like that down here a couple of years ago. And then
he was in that.
Betancourt Sister Twisters. But I started shooting the shit with him, and I'm like, cool, where you going? He's like, I'm going to this party. I'm like, bummer. He's like, I can probably get you in. I'm like, really? And he's like, I can't promise you anything. And then he was a man of his word, and he totally got me in. And I'm like, dude, I got you. I got all your drinks tonight. And that was rad.
He's a beast. All right, so Mark Atkinson, a young boy from Rhode Island, right? Yeah. You come out to California, hopes and dreams of a better life in acting. You get your heart crushed by Hollywood early on.
Yes, just wasn't meant to be.
Come back down to San Diego. You find a loving and it's a really cool filmmaking group.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's a filmmaking industry. I would say it's a filmmaking. It's like a really community. Cool. It's cool. Like it's like a post college AV club. That because there's people that there's a people that got a lot of money and they can just buy equipment and make movies. There's a people that are doing it as a hobby because they have a significant other that makes a load of money. There's the lifers that come in and that they're going to do it no matter what. They just happen to be part of this little mix, but they have bigger aspirations. And you sort of find a home. You can make a lot of friends. You start making some projects. Then you go and recently, props to you over the last 6 months to a year. Every time I check my Facebook feed, you're talking about another festival that a movie you were got in. I saw you were in that movie with Randy, I think in Carolina, I think.
Oh yes, Old Aquatics.
Then I see you in another thing with a little kid. You're having a tea party.
Power Agent. Yep.
Power Agent, and you're getting into all these festivals. So you're making the right decisions, or you're putting yourself together with the right people, or you're bringing something to the table to these films. So big props to you, my friend, for doing into that. Give me some stories from some of these last films that you've been in.
Well, unfortunately, like, are you talking about the films or are you talking about the film festivals?
The films themselves.
Oh,
The
okay, yeah,
product.
cool. Okay, yeah. So if we're going through my IMDb credits, yeah, the patio, when Howie met Ronnie,
I'm gonna get to that at the end. So
okay, we'll get to that. Yeah, sure.
let me go ahead and conduct the interview from this side, Mark Atkinson.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Let me
You
lead
do
you
what
down the
you do.
path here.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess 92115 had a pretty decent festival run considering it was basically a student film with a budget of like $250. It's got a lot of laurels on the poster. I got it somewhere around here.
No,
Oh,
it was a classic indie film. Is that you guys used like a
yeah.
U-Haul truck instead of the instead of a mail truck, I
Oh,
believe.
that's right. And guess who was the producer bouncing on the back bumper like it was in motion? This guy. Yeah. Oh, by the way, thank you for the Q&A you did with with the director, Kevin.
Oh yeah, Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin
Yeah.
seems like he was just very mellow. He's a mellow guy.
He's a very mellow dude. Yeah.
I was
So
like, "Aren't you excited about filmmaking?" He's like, "No."
he's like, no. Yeah, I saw him on like another Q&A, and they're like, oh, "What films have you been watching during the quarantine that have inspired you?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's not really inspired by films. I guess music, huh?"
Yeah,
I'm
no.
like, "Yeah."
And,
But
I
no,
think I texted you while I was doing that. I was like, man, this is not going good for your boy.
no. He's a good guy, but yeah, I mean, there is something to be said for like artists or whatever. There's a degree of showmanship that you gotta put into the when everything's all said and done, when it's all done and produced and edited, you have to promote it, package it, and market it. Which I like to think that was really what I did pretty good at that movie because the movie's okay, but I think I did a really good job of getting it out there, and it's been at like 7 festivals, which
I mean, I wouldn't call you the king of and say you're the master of self promotion if I didn't think you were good at that. I think that's one of the things that people know when they sign Mark Atkinson onto the project is that he's going to show up on time, he's going to deliver his lines, he's going to have some suggestions, he's going to throw in some jokes.
yeah,
And he's going to promote the project after the fact to try to get it in front of people. So
yeah.
What else could you ask for?
What else could you ask for?
From a character actor.
Exactly. Yeah. I try to be on time. But yeah. So there was that, and that's done with the festival circuit. We might throw it on Amazon Prime.
This is my favorite part where my dog wakes up, shakes himself.
I see something. What's going on over there? Yeah.
He woke up and he shook himself a little bit, and now he's trying to find a more comfortable position so he can go back to sleep. There, he's like, all right.
Okay.
He's like, all right, I'm gonna dig in here for a little. I'm gonna try to get. He's trying to get under the blanket.
What's he looking for? Is he gonna find some like a ham sandwich in there or something? What's going on?
And back to sleep.
No, he's just chilling. Okay. I'm good.
He's like,
He's on one of my legs.
I'm sorry. I just whether I do my stream at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, they're always right there just sleeping.
Yeah. What's the dog's names?
Shy Girl is the one closest to us right here, and Baxter is the one that's in the back right now that got up and went back to sleep.
And Baxter. Ooh.
They're getting old, but they're my boys and my girl.
How many you got?
I got 2. I had 4. One of them died, and the other one was my roommates, and they moved out. So now I'm down to 2. So it's less of a pack. But yeah, these guys are cool.
No Friendsgiving this year, huh?
No Friendsgiving. I talked to Sophia about it on the stream the other day, and for a second I thought that I could set some tables up in the backyard and kind of have people maybe like rotate around something, come in and out, say hi, grab a plate, get the fuck out. But no, my dad's 89, and my primary focus is kind of just locking in.
I didn't know he was 89. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
he's getting old. I mean, he's old as hell, so
yeah,
I do what I can,
Yeah.
So
no beer pong this year.
No beer pong, so Mr. Atkinson. But I'm sorry, I cut you off with the dog question. But anything stick out in these films that got into some festivals that that you can think of that was like an interesting story or something that happened on set or something?
I mean, going to these festivals is a lot of fun because you get to meet a lot of other like-minded people. You get to travel. When me and Justin went to Austin for Quint Miss Carol, that was a lot of fun.
Really nice.
Yeah, it's an awesome city, good artsy city, good booze city, a great Barbecue City, and of course they have Inner Tubing too, which I'm a big fan of. Yeah, I already talked about Chicago. Yeah, that's the thing that bums me about this festival shit year this year. Everything's all virtual because right now I got two films in the film festival circuit.
Yeah.
The Power Agent, which I talked about, and Leave 'Em Laughing, and that just played at two festivals in the last 2 weeks. One up in LA in Venice at a drive-in theater, and the other one in the Coronado. Coronado's all virtual, so. But yeah, I'll see the Power Agent hopefully at another film festival. This one's going to be a drive-in one at the Borrego Springs in January. So looking forward to that. Unfortunately, it won't be all the the boozing and schmoozing and all that stuff. But
The Free Stellas is not what's happening this year. I also saw that for the drive-in for San Diego International, it was like $89 or something to go watch a movie at a drive-in, which seemed a little.
Yeah, that's a bit much. Must be nice. Yeah,
they know their audience. They're like, oh, who's this talking shit about us? Some filmmaker in Chula Vista? He's not driving the 45 minutes to come to La Jolla anyway. Fuck that guy, so. I know that if I ever get into that festival, that I'll probably win an Oscar because I must have made something really, really good. If they ever let me in, Mark Atkinson. If I ever get into San Diego in the cast, if I ever get into the San Diego International Film Festival, that film will also win an Oscar because it's gonna have to be something really good.
Yeah, starring Benicio del Toro.
It's gonna have to be something really good for them to let me in. I'm just gonna because of all the shit I've talked about them. Yeah.
Well, you're not alone, buddy.
Yeah, it's all right. I like that people are like, yes, but I'm still gonna take the laurels if they send them to me. I took the laurels. Fuck yeah, I'll take the laurels for our movie that got in on a technicality. Dimitri made a bomb ass poster, but I'm also gonna tell them, I'm also gonna speak truth to them when I talk about it. We're talking with Mr. Mark Atkinson.
Hello.
I've nicknamed this pod the King of I because I give him shit about his self-promotional ways, but he is somebody that promotes himself. And what the fuck it is, it's 2020. Everybody is doing some sort of self-promotion now.
I don't have a whole lot to self-promote lately, just about these virtual film festivals and then my memories, but
that's right, man. I wanted to have you on just because I've had you on as part of a group of people. We did a pod where we did mostly a Stern-centric one, but then when I upgraded my PC, that drive that I had all of my stuff on got corrupted for a lot of interview.
We talked about Stern for like 3 hours.
Yeah. So I said, at some point we have to just kind of do a pod, me and you, where we can just kind of shoot the shit, go into whatever kind of topics we go on to, and sort of let me do like the kind of deep dive a little bit into your career and shit, and so we can get that out of the way. But I know that you, like I said, man, I just also big ups for all the success that you had recently. I saved When Howie Met Ronnie till the end because I'm going to do my bracket bit with you for the Whack Packer brackets. I wanted to give you one last thing, which is your fake news segments that you're doing recently. And kind of what was I like that people are starting to do more content. Obviously when this pandemic started, some people just started jumping into it right away, and I was like, fuck it, I'm jumping in, I'm going to start doing more content. Then I noticed people doing similar stuff, and I was like, I'm just happy that people are making content. But what was it that finally decided to get you on it?
Well, that's interesting. So I guess okay, so it dates back to this, like, the new thing was, and definitely is now more than ever, was self-tapes, not going, driving around San Diego or going to LA. Like the newer thing was to self-tape, and so I got like this green screen thing, and I got like a ring stand or a ring light on a tripod, and I got like a newer iPhone. So I kind of started to do my own self-tapes, but I was very lazy about it. I didn't edit them at all. I just kind of pressed record, gave a couple of reads, chose the best one, and sent them off to my agent, and would not get booked. Or no, I would get booked sometimes, but I'm like, yeah, I kind of wish I could do the minimal editing for at least my 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 self-submission auditions or whatever, but I just didn't get around to it. And then all of a sudden, back in April, I believe, Roger Corman did a film challenge called the Roger Corman's Quarantine Film Challenge, and it had to be under 2 minutes, which is really hard to make, actually. Kind of tell a story, and I guess they posted on Instagram or whatever. So I one night I shot something on my phone with the help of Randy actually and Justin. This was like late April. So a couple, about a month or so into quarantine, I think we, drank a 12 pack and made this piece of shit called Sink Shark, which was fun. I learned how to edit with that. And then, I don't know, a couple months go by, I'm bored and I just wanted to kind of make my own things. I see a lot of people doing it, not so much actors, it's really more comedians, and not even like San Diego people. It's like some LA comedians that I'm friends with. Kind of started because they can't get up on stage. I know Dave Callens does his like movie countdown like every night or whatever. But yeah, other people that I know like and follow, they just kind of started doing their own content, and it was only about a minute or two. And so I said, I can do that, So I started doing, the fake news, because at the time, the election was just ridiculous, and it still is. But yeah, I've done a couple other things. I just filmed one yesterday and edited it. So I was going to release it today, but maybe I'll release it tomorrow instead. Candy corn. That's all I have to say.
Is that, but did it, are you parodying something there? Are you basically, because I mean, what was the guy from The Office that had that Some Good News show, and he did 4 episodes, and then CBS was like, we're going to back this big truck of money at you, and we're going to buy this entire concept. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh, he's no longer doing this.
Oh,
right?
Really?
This thing.
Okay.
Right.
John, what's his name?
Mr. Krasinski or Krasinski.
Quiet Place guy. Yeah, Jim. That's great. Good for him. And he's married to Emily Blunt, so he needs the money. Yeah, I mean, that's a good example of just like why do people got to follow the stars on social media so much? But I guess because they are famous. So there's definitely that. But no, this was just to kind of be more creative, get better at shooting, for my self tapes, and why not? If it gets a couple hundred views, a couple of chuckles, I don't expect to be the next PewDiePie or anything, but
I like that, a couple of chuckles.
Couple of chuckles. That's all I want.
All right, and then we're both okay. So what would be your dream role out of any movie you've ever watched? You could go back and replace the actor with yourself. Mark Atkinson in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the obvious choice would be Robert Shaw in Jaws, wouldn't it? But I don't want to go with that one.
Well, no, because that's not really a career. That's one part. I guess the question is what role, but.
Oh, sorry, what was the question? Did I miss it?
No. I when I thought about it, I was like maybe I should ask him what actor's career he would rather have. Obviously, you can be like Matt Damon or something like that. But I'm just saying, no. But let's just stick to the original, which is, you replace an actor in a role, and then your career, you take over your career from there.
Yeah, I mean, I like, obviously, like, I like what Sandler's got going on, and has been going on. I mean, let's be honest, his last 15 movies have totally sucked, but this guy's got a career. He's got like a $50 million deal with Netflix, and Seth Rogen's really good at, I do think Seth Rogen's pretty funny and talented, actually.
So if you could replace Seth Rogen in like Pineapple Express.
Oh, that'd be fun. Sure. Well, I like the idea that these guys are funny and they create their own content. They're not just like puppets, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people come and go, but like they're producers and they're writers, and I think he directs a little bit too. But he's kind of in control of his career. He doesn't have to, because you think about like a Chevy Chase, he was awesome, but he was kind of not short-lived. He was great in the 80s, but by the 90s, his career kind of dried up, and now he's just kind of known more as a dick than a funny guy, So I think to be in control of your content is to be king, because content is king.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Drive it back home. And what is next for you? Obviously, you got to finish up this festival runs with some of these movies.
Yep, finish up this festival run. I was attached to a big project, but on hiatus. I can't really talk about that, unfortunately, so I shouldn't have even brought it up. But I think I got one more one more parody short in me. I don't want to rest my laurels on these short parodies, but I've already written. I wrote it actually over a year ago. Oh, there's your dad.
That's my dad.
Nice. Um,
And a scooter.
is he going to join us? Is he going to be on the podcast?
No, he's just on a scooter.
He's just chilling. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think he wants to.
Yeah, so this one probably will be kind of a pulp. It'll be in the Pulp Fiction world.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, this one will be kind of more in the Pulp Fiction world. But after that,
you're doing a Pulp Fiction parody.
Yeah.
Or something that takes place in the Pulp Fiction universe.
Exactly. Yes. No, it's more of a parody. Yeah. An homage. How about that? But yes, it's not like. But anyways, that'll probably be the next thing that I produce. I think. Who knows?
I'd like to be. I like the audition for that.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know when we can do it because it's just kind of like everything's weird right now. But we'll see. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks or months, definitely for sure.
Or maybe I can play the announcer on the Sounds of the 70s.
Okay. All right. It really super sounds that was
That's more Reservoir. That's Reservoir Dogs, but that's more of a Tarantino universe type deal.
Yeah. But yeah, that's probably the next thing that I'll produce. I think. Yeah.
And you're gonna keep dropping some news segments. You said you got one coming tomorrow, right?
Sure. For the purpose of this podcast, I'll drop it tomorrow. Yeah, it's not a news one because sometimes I'll do a news one and sometimes I'll just do like another kind of weird thing when I insert myself in. Like the one of them I did was like eating. I don't know if you saw that one, but eating. Remember the rumor like in the 80s when you eat Pop Rocks and drink Coca-Cola, your head explodes?
Yeah.
I kind of inserted myself in that scene from Scanners, and people liked it. I
saw it, Mark.
Hey, I'm the king of I.
Yes, I do. I'm at my desk, although now I have a standing desk, so I'm sitting and standing at my desk. Although I haven't had the balls to do a standing podcast because I think I'll get tired halfway through.
You should do it on that big ball over near your bed.
I should sit on that big ball. Well, that ball says it holds up to 2,000 pounds, and I'm supposed to be able to sit on it. But I looked at it and I was like, I was still sus of the blue ball, even though it said it could hold up to 2,000 pounds. I don't weigh that much.
You go on this ball.
But I was like, I was about to sit on it, and I was like, no, I don't think so. There's too much of a chance that I'll break my ass off.
So wait, what do you do with it then? What's going on?
I use it. It's decorative. My nephew plays with it when he's here sometimes.
Okay, cool.
It's all right. I mean, it's there. I have it. I might sit on it.
Is that a barber chair behind you?
That is a barber chair. We do Corona cuts here, Mr. Atkinson. If you'd like me to shape you up, we'll put you in a mummy's costume, give you a gas mask, and then we'll chop you up real quick. That was a gift from somebody. They used it as a gaming chair, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
So I got it by the fireplace there, so you can sit by the fire.
Oh yeah, just kind of spin around.
Spin around, look really dramatic.
Yeah. Take about an inch off the top, 2 in the back, square.
Well, I saved the best for last, I think, or something for last, because you and I both Howard Stern fans.
Yes.
That's why we had the
there it is.
the pod that was very Stern centric. And this segment, I'm gonna transition us here because now we're going to Stern talk.
Whoa.
Where'd they go? This is Stern Talk segment with Mark Atkinson here on the Fireside Chat. So I was telling everybody we're both Stern fans from back in the day. And obviously when I heard that this was happening, because Michael does look, and I had talked to you, and then we talked about on pod about what my Howard Stern fan film would be, which is the Howard Stern origin story, The Coming of Tan, Mom. And so I'm a big Stern fan, big fan of the universe of Stern. And then you created When Howie Met Ronnie, based on a throwaway story from an episode of the show,
Right.
or kind of a reoccurring story on the Stern show, which is number one, that Ronnie had this ostentatious limo when Stern met him with like Playboy mud
flaps, and everything.
And, and that Ronnie wrote Howard a letter in crayon telling him that he wanted to be his limo driver.
Yeah.
So you posted this on the most toxic place on earth, the Howard Stern subreddit, and you got destroyed for it, as anything and everything gets destroyed. Pictures of Beth, any story about Howard, any story about anybody.
The most toxic people on the planet. Like, this is like the cesspool of haters.
Yeah, they are.
Any sensitive filmmaker here in San Diego, you grow a really thick skin quick. It's awful people.
Awful people. I'm in there reading stories because I like Stern content and stuff like that, and there'll be Stern trivia, and there'll be occasionally stuff that's interesting to me as a Stern fan. But overall, they are just incredibly incredible. Reddit's already somewhat toxic, but it's an incredibly, the Howard Stern subreddit is incredibly toxic. So this segment is sponsored by them. Fuck those guys. But When Howie Met Ronnie, tell me about how it came together. I
just I wanted to do another Howard Stern fan film. I did one many years ago when they had the only Howard Stern film festival.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know when it was, like when he first signed with Sirius. It wasn't very good. It was a piece of shit. And I was just an actor, and I think I played Mike Walker, actually. But I've been wanting to do one for a couple of years now, and I'm like, well, who can I play? Because that's what everything that I do comes down to. I could maybe play Sal, or maybe a young Ronnie, but why would I play a young Ronnie? And all of a sudden, one day, I just kind of heard the story, because they talk about it every couple of months about how they met. So I based the script off that. And basically, he just meets this like weird, in 1986, he meets this weird kind of limo driver, like you said, with the Playboy mud flaps and all that stuff. And I kind of took all of the current jokes and transported them into the script that takes place in 1986. Everything from like the sex poems, or the sex poetries, the sex tips, and the the dildo, the vibrator,
everything.
Pegged by his fiance, Stephanie. And it took a lot of the sound bites and all that stuff. And I made it. I sent it to several of the Howard Stern film. Howard Stern crew. And the reason why I really wanted to make it is because I wanted to get a mention on the show, and I didn't, but I got acknowledgement from the show, from the people. Steve Brandano said that he can't promote it. I don't know why he didn't really give me an answer. It could be because it's a piece of shit. Honestly, I don't think it's truly a piece of shit. Actually, I'm proud of it, but it's weird. It's an acquired taste,
My complaint is that you didn't go far enough with the Ronnie voice. I think you guys were talking. I think he tried a little bit to do a Stern voice, but not enough. And I think you guys really needed to, even if it was over the top, you guys really needed to steer into he really needed to be like, Howie, and you needed to go full, you were not angry enough to be Ronnie.
Yeah.
And you weren't Ronnie enough. You were Mark Atkinson.
I was young Ronnie, which
nobody cares, because you're already bringing the stuff from 2017 into it. So you're already so don't try to make a rule for yourself about, in your own universe you're creating. It's already a mishmash of timelines.
No, I know. So that would be, if I were to do it again, I would do older Ronnie, like the Fred Ronnie, you change that. You leave everything else the same, but you change how you deliver your lines in over the top Fred Ronnie voice. And I think Yeah.
Yeah. Like you should almost just do ADR on it and
Yeah,
just
you're right. That's
and
what
just
you're right.
honestly, if you ADR like because it's you, right? So it's gonna
It's me doing a Joe Pesci.
yeah. You're doing Joe
Yeah.
Pesci. You're
Which I
doing
imagine that's what he sounded like in the 80s, but who cares? You're right. Like if I
yeah.
would do it again, I would have made my voice a little bit more like current Ronnie, more relatable,
Like if
like
I would have been there day one, shot one, even if I was just walking by, I would have been like, yo, 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 yo. You're Ronnie, dude. You gotta go full Ronnie.
full Ronnie.
You can't go for subtlety in this role, man.
No. So that's probably what I would do differently. Just and
Yeah,
I can do Ronnie, like
yeah. Just use that
yeah.
fancy do that fancy use that fancy ass mic you got in front of you and just
There we go.
ADR your lines and
Yeah.
just go for it. You resubmit it to everywhere.
Yeah. But and it was really surreal when I got to meet some of the crew that were out here last year for when Howard Stern came to LA. I got to meet like literally everyone but Howard and Robin and Fred. Everyone but the top three. I literally met everyone else and even drank. And but the highlight for me was definitely meeting Ronnie, and I was wearing this T-shirt, this one right here, that he had signed. And it's whoops, this way, huh? It says like Ronnie the limo driver 2019. Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh, let's fuck some whores. Yeah, which that's his catchphrase. Yeah.
That's his catchphrase. I tell people I told you and Brian the other day that when I'm on the phone, I every time I'm waiting for somebody to pick up or something, I say hello. That's how I answer. Hello.
I'm wearing this T-shirt. I'm like, you see it, you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, I saw it. I'm like, what'd you think? He's like, to be honest, I'm like, yeah. He's like, that looks more like Gary. I'm like, what?
All right. Well, Mark, it's come to that part of the show.
Let's do this.
Where I do a bracket bit.
Let's get this party started
with my guest. When I restarted my computer, my bracket reset, so I'm gonna have to go off of this picture that I have here. But what I created for you, my friend, and I will give you the names and you can answer me, is I have given you a bracket of Howard Stern Whack Packers. I have picked the top 32 Whack Packers in the Stern universe, in my opinion, and I'm going to give them to you 2 at a time bracket style. And you tell me who moves on to the next round. All right. I've shown people the bracket. Here it is. But since I can't physically modify it as I normally could with this app, then I'm just going to kind of go old school. But let me see if I can show you guys.
So what do we like? Who'd win in a fight? Who's better?
However, the bracket bit is yours to decide who you're doing. I'm going to give you 2 Whack Packers. You can tell me which one you like better. Yeah. You can tell me which one you think should move on. This is the ultimate Whack Pack bracket.
Okay.
So you can, so basically, I think what it boils down to is how you feel about these different Whack Packers, their appearances on the show. This is going to be personal to you. Which one you enjoyed more? Their bits, their contribution to the Stern universe, etc. Does that make sense?
I'm actually friends with a couple of the Whack Packers.
All right. Well, you can make the decisions however.
I wonder if they made it. I don't see. Do you have?
All right. So we're gonna start this off. It's called. It's time for the bracket bits.
The bracket
bit. Here's where the theme song will go. It'll be bracket bit. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. All right, time for the bracket bit. All right. Whack Packers, Mark Atkinson.
Yes.
Captain Quint, the patio, when Howie met Ronnie.
Yes.
Ultimate bracket Whack Pack challenge.
Okay.
All right. Yep. Round 1, fight 1. Or which one of these is more important to you as a Whack Packer? Eric the actor or Crazy Alice?
Eric the actor, hands down. Are you kidding me?
He's iconic.
He's a number one. Johnny, you know what to do.
He's a number 1 seed for a reason, Mark Atkinson. He's the number 1 seed for a reason. And now we move down. Captain Jenks or Daniel Carver?
Well, I do miss the Daniel Carver days, especially now. Did he die or they just refused to have him?
He's just being a racist. I mean, you think they're going to have Daniel Carver on? They don't have Gilbert Godfrey on.
Thanks, Marcy.
They don't have Gilbert Godfrey on. You think they're gonna have Daniel Carver? You're gonna ask me why they don't have Hansy on anymore?
Yeah, right. And yet they have Andy Cohen on, and who was just on the other day.
Yeah. I mean,
Captain
the show jumped
Canterbury.
the shark a long time ago, but we're still fans of it. So what are you
Yes,
gonna do?
exactly. Still love
All
the
right.
show. God, between
So the
two,
crank caller or the racist?
I got to go Captain Jenks.
Captain Jenks moves on to the second round. Wendy.
His prank calls are legendary, you know? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Wendy the slow adult or medicated Pete?
These two are not my favorite. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go with Wendy because she's, she's been on the show for so long, but
She's going to beg you for money.
yeah.
All right, John the Stutterer. He had epic battles back in the day with the show when he would come
Remember,
on.
not Stuttering John, by the way. We're talking about John the Stutterer.
We're talking about John the Stutterer.
Yeah,
John the Stutterer.
Or Bigfoot. Oh, Bigfoot.
Almost. Yeah.
It is.
Hold on.
This is the Whack Packer bracket. It is. No question.
About that, had a call, I had to take. So you picking who?
Yeah, definitely Bigfoot.
All right, Bigfoot. It is. Bigfoot. It is. Moves on.
Yeah. That's the Bigfoot. We're not talking about old school Bigfoot.
No, we're combine. We'll combine them if that helps you a little bit. Just the Bigfoot character.
Okay.
Who's hype? Who's Mark Atkinson? Who's hype
All
pitch on Mark Atkinson or Kenneth Keith Kallenbach? That's an old schooler.
Yeah. R.I.P. I'm gonna go. Half these people are dead, by the way. I'm gonna go with High Pitch. High Pitch is a huge reason why I found out where everyone was drinking, what hotel they were. He told me.
All right, we're gonna go Riley Martin or Ham Hands Bill.
Oh, Riley's pretty legendary, but I do think I like Ham Hands Bill better.
Ham Hands moves on.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna go Elegant Elliot Often, another person has not been back on the show in a while. They did mention him. Or Yucko. Yucko might be too successful for this bracket because he's got 2 Netflix shows so far.
Yeah, no, Yucko. Yucko's great.
You're gonna go Yucko.
Gotta be Yucko, for sure.
All right, got it. All right, next up we're gonna go Will the Farter. A lot of great memories with him. Or the Beat. Beat also a top seed here.
Dude, why do you have those two on the two?
All right, man. It's my bracket. It's your choice.
I know.
My bracket, your choice.
I mean, I'm obviously gonna go Beat, but damn, Will the Farter is still great too. I'm gonna go Beat, but
hey man, some first round battles are harder than others.
Yeah, that's tough.
All right, now we move on to the next side of the bracket. We got Sour Shoes,
hands down,
versus the Jesus Twins. Jesus Twins is an amazing. They were an amazing character, but Sour Shoes is way too strong.
Yeah.
Jeff Curro, the drunk, Mark the Bagger.
Oh, I was like, who the hell? Curro. Yeah, Jeff the drunk. Oh yeah, definitely Mark the Bagger. Yes.
Fred the Elephant Boy or Melrose Larry.
I gotta go with Melrose. He's my homie. He's on my. I'm gonna tag him in this.
All right, tag him.
Yeah.
I'll also release this as an independent clip so people don't have to sit through an hour and a half of me and you talking before we get to the bracket bit.
I want to put Melrose Larry in one of my movies, actually.
Yeah, let's put him in there. All right. So Melrose moves on past Elephant Boy. A bit of an upset here. Fred the Elephant Boy was the favorite coming in. All right. We have Crackhead Bob, Thippy, or Bobo, which is the love-hate person.
No, I love Bobo. I'm a big fan of Bobo. I think he's also on my. I think I'm friends with him on Facebook too. Yeah.
All right, Bobo moves on. Now, Gary the Conqueror or Marianne from Brooklyn, the most grating voice in the universe.
Tough one, man.
Marianne or Gary the Conqueror. Yeah, that's a tough matchup for a first round.
I love Gary, but I'm gonna have to go with Marianne because she's more like topical or more what's the word I'm looking for? Relevant.
She's a kiss ass though. Gary keeps it real. Marianne is just like a promotional tool. When he has something to bring up that he doesn't want to sound like he's promoting himself, Marianne's right there. Howard, what about your book? Or Howard, what about like she brings up the stuff that Howard is too embarrassed to but you're going with Marianne from Brooklyn. All right.
Oh yeah.
Gary doesn't know the difference, so he's fine with it.
Sorry, Gary.
All right. Blue Iris. And really, if I had to do it all over again, I'd put Gary against Blue Iris and Marianne versus Asian Pete.
Yeah,
That
because
seems
this
like
one was kind of like, eh.
because it feels like this could have been in the next bracket. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll probably go with Blue Iris just because she made out with Artie, right?
Yeah, that's the thinking there. And Nicole Bass, R.I.P., or Lawrence the Garbage Man.
Oh, Larry the Garbage Man. You kidding me?
Larry the
So you
Garbage
got
Man.
all these alias names, huh? You know.
Yeah, you know, I don't like his other name. Hansy or Hank, the Angry Drunken Dwarf. Hansy.
Oh, come on.
Another one
Hank's
that.
a GOT.
Yeah, well, that's why he's the other number one seed. As you can notice, him and Eric are on separate sides of this bracket.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on to the next round. So it's going to be Eric the actor versus Captain Jenks.
Oh, Eric.
Eric the actor is a fucking
ECM.
monster. He's a heavy favorite in this
This
bracket.
is very, this is a very woke bracket you have here.
It's a woke bracket.
Yeah, look at it. You got Eric the actor.
Hey, man, that's what he wanted to be called. He's Eric the actor.
Larry the Garbage Man.
Which is what
Just Wendy.
Which is what makes me laugh every time I email Merrick the actor because it's one letter off from Eric's name. So that's so every time I send Merrick an email, I'm like, all right, and then
with balloons.
Wendy or Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Sorry,
All right.
Wendy.
High pitch Eric or Ham Hands Bill.
It's gonna go with high pitch because he's just on so much more. I do like Ham Hands Bill, but
That's fine. That's fine.
he's a beast.
All right. Another tough matchup here: Yucko or Beat.
Damn. I'm gonna go with Beat. Yeah, I mean you have to go with Beat, but sucks, Yucko. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
your Netflix.
Sour Shoes or Mark the Bagger.
Oh, Sour Shoes.
All right, and Melrose Larry or Bobo.
Melrose, I hate to do it to you, buddy. It's more. Bobo's just on a lot more. Melrose has only been on like twice in the last 6 months.
All right. And Marianne from Brooklyn or Blue Iris?
Marianne.
And Larry or Hank the Angry Dwarf?
Ooh.
Tough one.
Yeah, that is a really tough one. You Howard.
Moet Faucets.
Yeah. You telling me you don't like to sniff a girl's shoes? Shit. I mean, I gotta go Hank.
Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf moves on. All right. Things are getting serious now. Eric the actor, it is, or Bigfoot? It's a tough matchup for Eric.
This is tough. I'm gonna have to go Eric, though. I love Bigfoot, but Eric's just
High pitch Eric or Beetlejuice? That's an epic one. That's a rough one right there.
That is. But if pressed, I gotta go Beat.
All right. And Sour Shoes or Bobo?
Sorry, Bobo.
Sour Shoes.
Yeah.
And Sour Shoes he could be a sneaky one this bracket.
Yep.
Marianne from Brooklyn or Hank?
Hank.
All right. That gives us our final four.
Okay. Here we
All
go.
right.
Now things are getting tense.
All right. Semifinal number one. Eric the actor. Beetlejuice.
Oh no. Breaking my heart, but I might have to go with Eric.
All right. And then the other final, Hank versus Sour Shoes.
Sour Shoes.
Which brings us to our final.
Okay.
Mark Atkinson, big fan of the Stern Show.
Yep.
Made it this way through a 32-person whack pack bracket.
And it all comes down to one.
And it's a woke one at that. And it all comes down to the final. Eric the actor. You know what to do. You know what to do.
Johnny, you know what to do.
You know what to do. Sour Shoes. Where he fucking the prank calls. There's hard to find. Sour Shoes is by far the most talented whack packer.
Yeah.
Hands down, he's the most talented whackpacker. Eric, the fucking sagas. I have an Eric folder of old Stern stuff, and it's like
Yeah.
80 gigs of just his calls and just being a differently abled person that complained so much that people still hated him. You know how
So yeah,
Artie was like, you know how much of an asshole you got to be to be in a wheelchair and have people still hate you. This is an epic final.
Yeah, swipe. Yeah.
He's club fucking footed, but is he number one in the bracket, Mark?
I'm gonna have to go with Sour Shoes.
Sour Shoes. In an update, I said he was a rated rookie in this. I mean, I think
he's awesome. He's very talented, and then every time he's on, my ears perk up, and he's still alive. Eric the Midget's actor, you call him. He's been dead for like 5 years, so he's not, coming up with anything new.
Well, Mark, you made a decision. It's a tough one. I think I would have had to gone with. I would have had to go with Eric on that one. Flying with balloons and all that. Like, I think it's like I think
great.
Like,
no, he was.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But Sour Shoes is probably creatively come up with a lot of time, and I think it's a real fun. I mean, obviously, I think he's one of the most talented people. He's just a talented. He's the definition of like an idiot savant, basically. He's just a talent. He's just a talented dude. So. Thank you for being a part of the show, Mr. Atkinson. We did 2 hours and it was a breeze. I think I had a good time, man.
Yeah, it was good yeah, for sure.
I mean, we got to know a little bit about Mr. Atkinson, what makes him tick, his filmography, his views on life. We had that long stretch where we were talking about your time in the Appalachians, and when you used to go wakeboarding in the mornings in Brazil. I remember that. That was great.
A year for those days. The days of yore, I call them.
So, make sure you skim through the entirety of this podcast so you can, listen to those stories. So people can obviously look for you. Obviously, you're still a working actor. You're doing your own thing. I want to help you out, or let me know what's going on with that Tarantino thing, because I'd love to either give you my thoughts or be a part of it somehow. And obviously, we'll see if the Soldiers of Fortune thing comes up again. If that gets picked up, who knows?
We'll see. There's a lot of in the quiver. So.
Yeah. See how that happens. You can always hope.
Yeah,
it was
coming out next spring like we did when we were.
It was funny, man. It was you guys had a little chemistry. It was funny. It's definitely something that I could see as like a web series or as like something that could get picked up on Hulu or some shit. It's the same as anything else, So you never know. You got, like I said, a lot of the stuff that we didn't really put out there are still intellectual properties that I could pitch in 2 seconds, and I could say, hey, we made this. Here's a proof of concept. Give me money and I'll make it for you. It's as simple as that, man. Once you get out there enough, if you have intellectual properties under your belt and you can offer that to a network or a streaming service, that's something that's definitely important. And it's also important to be able to create this, fanfic and fan appreciation films are definitely a way to show your style, your creativity that you can write in the voice for somebody else. Etc. And, man, I look forward to seeing where you go next in your career. As I always say, the people that fail at acting are usually the ones that give up, because there's always need for actors of all shapes, sizes, ages. And really, you hear a million times a day about people that started in their 40s, 50s, 60s, didn't get their first role until they're 35, 60, whatever the hell. And they become successful actors, have great careers, shit like that, directors too. So, we're going to keep grinding. I know you're a lifer. I'm a lifer, etc.
I ain't going anywhere.
So again, I appreciate that, sir. The bracket was fun, I think.
Good. I like that.
The people at the subreddit appreciate it. They're probably going to crucify you for not picking Beetlejuice.
I'm dead. I'm a dead man. Yeah.
Or for me for omitting like Suzanne, the weather lady, or somebody, for some random ass person. Kielbasa Queen, for not putting her on the bracket or something. We only had 32 slots. Okay, I didn't want to make it a 64-person tournament because me and Mark would have been here for 2 hours,
right?
Talking about Mark the Bagger versus like fucking original Bigfoot. or fucking what is the other one? Who I almost put in was
Wonder Dog.
No, the guy that was. Oh, you know who? Oh, you know. Wow, you know who I legitimately forgot that probably could have won it for me? How the hell did I not put Evil Dave Letterman in here?
Oh,
What list of what?
he would have
What?
went pretty far. I don't think he would have won, but he would have came in that top 4.
What list of whack Packers did I look at?
Dude, no
See,
Evil Dave.
I'm gonna crucify myself for that one. Evil Dave is like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Wow, what list of whack Packers did I look at that Evil Dave wasn't on there? I was gonna say I miss Sun Yi, but then as soon as I thought about Sun Yi, I was like, yeah, he's just that guy that worked on the show that happened to have that voice, and I'm like,
Yeah.
just like Evil Dave, just the guy that happened to sound just like Dave Letterman, and I didn't put him in somehow.
Is Rappaport still? What do you consider him?
He's a caller. He's not a whack Packer.
Okay. All right. But Bobo's definitely a whack pack.
I definitely could have put him in probably instead of like John the Stutterer or instead of like yeah, like that. Yeah. Like instead of like he would have been maybe in place of either Blue Iris or Asian Pete. He would have beat Blue Iris. He would have beat Gary the Conqueror. But then he would have been up against Hank. He would have been against Hank the Angry Dwarf. You still think Hank though, right? Or no? Because Hank's a fucking classic, dude.
Yeah,
when he would get drunk on the couch and just beat Gary or anybody at fucking, he was just like, blah.
Howard, yeah.
Like that's where it might have been different. If you would have taken Evil Dave over Hank, then he makes the final 8.
I'd go Hank.
Yeah, I think Evil Dave's a contender like 2 rounds, but I think when he goes against like Hank or even against Beetlejuice or Eric, he doesn't make it past that like Sweet 16.
No, he's not.
No, but honestly, Evil Dave is like a top 10 whack Packer for me. Yeah. Maybe a top 5, man. Some of the fucking funny shit.
Yeah, they're all like dying, so it's just kind of like
they're like wrestlers, man. Whack Packers are like wrestlers. It's a tough life. Yeah, right? It's a tough thing. All right, Mark. I appreciate you. I don't know why I didn't start the interview by saying hi, Mark. But I appreciate you coming on, brother. Like I said, I'll talk to you soon. I'm gonna let this extra to play us out, as they say on to play us out. I'm gonna let this clip play us out. So I will talk to you at another time, man.
Okay.
Glad we were able to get together, get this on wax. Thank you for everybody that watched, commented. Make sure you follow Mark for his new content that he's creating. Look for Mark
Atkinson.
The Mark Atkinson.
The King of I.
Check out his movies, Christmas Carol, The Patio, When Howie Met Ronnie, a bunch of other shit that's out there right now. A bunch of other shit. All right, brother. Thanks for being on the show.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Peace.
Later.